Now, who is Kayla Vega?
I am Kayla Vega, and she is a lot of different things. She is a daughter, a partner, an optimist, a creative, a professional, loving person, a musician, um, an artist, actor. I I'm a limitless person, and I don't like really boxing myself into um, you know, really any category, but um, those are just a few of the things that I am. My childhood was very happy, very loving, very secure household, and I'm very fortunate for that because if I didn't have that upbringing as a child, I probably wouldn't be where I am today because I, had that type of environment. I was able to have the support to basically do whatever my heart dreamt of. I had the ability to, chase after my dreams and um, imagine instead of, kind of having that structure of like be a doctor or a lawyer. I just, was able to have that creativity flow. Oh my goodness. So, my first experience with music was actually before I could probably even remember. When I was in my mommy's belly, she would put headphones on her tummy and she would listen to soft rock, 70s soft rock. So, I would like to credit that to why I love specifically 70s music. But outside of the tummy, I was very into the Beatles One album of a CD, and I would listen to it on the Walkman, and I would just cry over and over and over again to Hey Jude. I don't know why, I just thought it was a sad song. Paul said it himself, it's a sad song. Instead of making it better, I would cry about it. Um, but that's like the earliest memory, not so much a story that was told to me, but the earliest memory would be like skipping through the album and trying to find Hey Jude, skipping through Penny Lane, and just, crying over music. I got into music, making music specifically. I started writing when I was maybe in 8th grade. I was a new kid at school. I didn't have a lot of friends, so I just kind of turned to writing about my angst and feeling alone. I feel like it takes one instance where you do feel alone that is the catalyst to start making art and to start creating. So I just started writing about my feelings, started, taking all of those mood changes that, a 13-year-old is feeling. Everything is so intense. I would just start writing it down and would kind of just hum the lyrics to myself, even though, at the time I didn't start um, playing guitar until a year later, but I would just, start humming the songs to myself. And then once I got a guitar, it kind of all spiraled, and that turned to me producing my own music and writing my own stuff and releasing it on streaming services. Um, so I would like to credit that lonely girl. I would like to credit that lonely girl who had no friends, who felt lonely and didn't have a place in her world. Um, I would like to, thank her for, you know, kind of paving the way for who I am today in terms of being an artist and a writer. Okay, that's a good question. I have a lot of inspirations for my music, starting from my family. I have a lot of inspiration and support from my parents because, they wholeheartedly want me to succeed as an artist. So I feel that a lot of inspiration comes from home and from the people that you're closest to. But in terms of like musical inspiration, I have a lot of influence from the 70s, Y2K. I love Taylor Swift, Elton John, Panic at the Disco, Ed Sheeran. Some of the greatest songwriters out there and performers, Harry Styles, like absolutely love glitter pop and just, you know, the laid back songwriters as well. People from today and people from decades before me, I just have major respect for, you know, the greats. So I got my first guitar when I was 13, and it was my grandfather's. It was in his room, and I saw it, and I was like, hey, what's this? Like, can I have it? It's just collecting dust. And he was like, yeah, sure. It doesn't really work good, but it can get you started. So I started playing horribly. My mom taught me the first four simple chords, the C, G, A minor, F, which is the simple four-chord progression. And I just, you know, once I perfected that, I started branching out and learning new stuff. Honestly, I still wouldn't call myself a professional, sadly, at guitar, but there's still a lot that I need to learn. But in order to play like basic chord structures, I probably nailed that within a year, I would say. But there's still, again, a lot that I need to learn to, you know, be a master. um, so I can't really pinpoint a song that I remember, like, I can't remember a song that I started singing at a young age, but one of a classic that I remember singing all the time was I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Like, no idea why, but I remember like as a kid, like swimming in my pool at my childhood home and just blasting that song all the time. Or like Bewitched was really big for me too. Before Kelly Clarkson, of course, but like Bewitched was really big for me. C'est la vie was kind of like my jam. One of the biggest setbacks that I have as a songwriter, as a musician, as a creative is imposter syndrome. I feel like sometimes I am not talented, and I feel sometimes I give myself a lot less credit than I deserve because I feel I haven't reached a level of success that I am aiming to reach. But I feel like as an artist, sometimes those bigger picture successes are obviously at a grander scale, and sometimes I need to dial back and look at the smaller picture and look at the gigs that I'm performing, the gigs that I'm booking, you know, the social media following that I'm gaining, just the smaller stuff that is actually bigger and is contributing to, you know, a smaller degree of success. But sometimes it's still, you know, pushing through that, beating myself up that I'm not good enough, or I'm not like, you know, the other artists on Instagram or the other people who are releasing music. But it's just, you know, pushing through and being myself and, you know, sharing my story as an artist, sharing, you know, my truths in music. Balancing my personal life with my music can be pretty hard because my attention span is not there, so it gets kind of hard balancing my personal life. I should be working on music way more than I do, and that's just a me thing. I'm sure that there are people out there who have no problem. I'm sure that there are people out there who have no problems, you know, just tuning the world out and going to their music. But sometimes it is easier, especially when I am struggling with certain things in life. It's easy for me to just flip the switch off and go to music. But sometimes I just want to have fun and live, a life, because, I don't know at what point success will drop out of pin and I won't have that freedom anymore. So I just like having the freedom of, being a 29-year-old woman, and going out, doing my own thing, having fun, and just even relaxing, playing video games at home, which again is a horrible distraction. But, I try my hardest to make music when I can. Okay. There is no rhyme or reason to my songwriting process. I know that there are people out there who drink a cup of coffee and a glass of bourbon and have 5 pecans and just meditate before they create. I am not that person. I can be in the bathroom clipping my fingernails. I can be just sitting in bed trying to go to bed, trying to go to sleep, and I'll just be struck with inspiration. I could just be talking to somebody. I could say something in this whole entire process and be like, you know what? That resonated with me. Let me just pull out my phone real quick and write it down. I'm not a lyric first, melody second person. I can do melody first, lyrics second. I could produce a whole song and write lyrics to it, or have music sent to me by my producer, Robert Colo. He's a collaborator of mine. He could send me something and I'll be like, oh, I can map out 20 different versions of this song to make sure it's something true to who I am and to whatever production I have. But there's really no real process, no rhyme or reason to what I do. I just play around with different sounds, play around with different melodies, hooks. It takes me a long time, honestly, to get there. I think the quickest song I've ever made was like 30 minutes, maybe, from, lyric to melody, and, kind of getting the basic feel and element of the song, but production takes a little bit longer than that. I grab a lot of inspiration from other artists or even just experimenting. I feel like when I am producing my own stuff, it comes from an area of experimentation and I don't think that's a word. It comes from an area of experimenting and just grabbing different sounds and thinking, does this sound good? Is this the area I want to go? Because I have that freedom to, kind of pick the types of sounds that I want, and I have the time to, versus if I ask my collaborator, hey, I want to work on this song, this is kind of what I'm working with right now in terms of chords, in terms of melody, in terms of lyrics, let me know what you think. He'll hit back at me with, what sound do you want? And I'll hit back with, this is what I'm listening to right now. This is kind of the vibe that I'm feeling. Or I'll grab, 5 different songs and, pinpoint the elements that I like from each song and say, I like this from this song. I like that from that song. How can we, take these elements, but obviously not plagiarize, but be inspired by, songs that already exist. And then we'll just bounce off of each other and take that and say, okay, I really don't like this. Can we change it to something different? I like, this moving piece, but let's change the instrument. I really don't like oboe. Can we switch it to maybe like a cello? Something a little bit, a little deeper but softer, a lot less harsh. But it's a lot of, ping pong effect and just talking it out. With distraction comes writer block, definitely. I would definitely like to say that I have chronic writer's block. So distraction is hard to begin with, and procrastination is hard to begin with, and being an artist who is independent, someone who doesn't have a label or someone kind of like barking at me to create, or having a co-writer who can help kind of push me along the way, or help fuel the juices to be like, okay, this is good, let's work on this idea or concept further. I do get writer's block really bad. I can write something, I could write one line and be like, well, I don't know what to do with this, so I'm just gonna let this sit in my notes app forever and not look back on it. Um, it's hard to, kind of push through it, especially when, you are independent, but I try to just grab the inspiration from whatever I can and just write it down, so I am pushing through it, because I can sit in the writer's block and just be like, yeah, okay, I have writer's block, and make an excuse of it, but that's not fun. That's not fun, especially when, this is, your passion. So I just try to find whatever inspiration I can to write, basically. When I am producing, or when I'm really on the brink of having a good idea, that's when I kind of shut the world off, and I have to be just in complete silence. I have to be in complete silence, and it's usually in my bed, in comfy clothes, with a blanket around me. I have to have a warm, fuzzy blanket over my shoulders, and I just have to be super comfortable and content with my environment, and just like absolute silence. Otherwise, any sound will just be like, oh, okay, I heard that, something is, going on. I have to stop what I'm doing and see what's going on, because I'm a very nosy person. And I have to know what's going on around me. So it's very easy for me to just, kind of get out of my zone. But yeah, definitely being comfortable is like in the zone for me. Oh man, it is hard to pinpoint one specific song that is like my favorite, so I think we'll have to go off of my favorite right now. So I actually resurfaced this song, and I actually performed it live, I think for the first time yesterday at a gig, and it's called Devil's Song. They say never count your money before the deal is done. But when I first met you, I thought I had one. I might have sold my soul for this love. I thought it was real. Every hand it caught unveils a bad deal. If I dance with the devil and play with fire, can I get an ounce of who I was back prior to you? It was actually inspired by The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Um, it's like a gamble. It's like a different perspective of gambling with love, more so to speak, I guess. So when I wrote this song, I liked this one line from The Gambler. It's kind of like, you gotta know where to hold up, know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. So that resonated with me, this whole entire gambling. As someone who's never gambled, I liked the concept of gambling. So the start of the song is, you never count your money before the deal is done. So my inspiration was like, you are really never safe in a relationship. You are never really safe with someone, really, especially if it's a toxic relationship. More or less, I should really say that you're not safe in a toxic relationship or with a toxic person. And I liked this idea of, you despise this person so much, but have a lot of love for them still. But at the end of the day, like hell is a safer place. The devil loves you more than this person who is supposed to love you unconditionally. So I really painted this picture of the devil being this person that you are in a relationship with, but honestly, like, hell is much better than the situation that you're in. So it was just painting this picture of, you know, the devil, hell. People will probably call me a Satanist, but it's art, and it's just a very interesting concept to me personally.